Okay.
Got it.
All right. So welcome to Healing Space. We're laughing because obviously you're going to find out when you see the end of this recording that we forgot to record the beginning. And so Della and I are going back it was a couple of slides. So we're just going back to make sure that everybody gets the whole entire thing. So Healing Space for March. Here we go.
All right. March healing space. And here's our quote for March. In March, winter is holding back and spring is pulling forward. Something holds and something pulls inside of us too. Jean Hersey. So, March is named for the Roman god of war, Mars. It is the beginning of spring. It is a time for advancement and movement. And the moment when we look to the future without looking back at our past. It is associated with rebirth, renewal, and balance. It represents new growth, fertility, the procreation in humans, plants, and animals. It is about embracing compassion and understanding and focusing on stepping out of our comfort zone and reaching toward our dreams and goals.
I think it's interesting that it's the Mars is the god of war, and is the ruler of Aries, which, we're going into right now. We're in Pisces season, but we're going into Aries. Yeah. And March is just so lovely with all the new beginnings and all that. But you think about it, no, it's named after the god of war. Mars is gonna set you up, but I'm wondering if it's because of the energy of that. Like, you look at the planet Mars and it's just swirling in energy, and it's the closest to the sun, right? No, Mercury is the closest. Linda. Yeah. Della and I have been laughing about what a crazy month it's been, and you'll just see
already.
It's just continue. I know when you were saying later on about, well, I don't know how it came in, and I'm thinking, Della, it was 2 days ago. But it has, the energy is just tremendous right now. So that being said, let's see what we're drawn to. So I've put some images here of things that March represents. So I want everybody to just take a few moments. And if you're watching this on the video, I want you to write down just next to you, real quick, grab a piece of paper and write down which image. So you're not tempted to change once you see what the meanings are. So is it the clover, or planet Mars, or eggs and chicks, the bunny, time, or the ram? Just notice if you're having a hard time picking, where does your eye keep going back to? All right. So here you go. If you were drawn to the clover, you are in need of luck. This image is telling you to take a risk and bank on it working. So instead of going, well, maybe it'll work, no, this is going to work. It absolutely is going to work. And by St. Patrick's Day, it'll all come true. If you went for Mars, something has made you very angry and you are trying to hide it. Try to find an outlet to release it safely. Like I said earlier, don't hit your dog. Don't yell at your boss. Find a different outlet. Mars is pure energy. And so, exercise would be a great thing. Come to SNS and lift some weights and then decide if you want to yell at your boss. If you picked the eggs and the chick, you are longing for simpler time and childhood joys. Go buy some plastic eggs. You get them at the dollar store, buy some little trinkets to put in it, not candy or anything like that, because you're going to hide them in a park or a schoolyard, you know, where there's like slides and stuff like that. And then just watch what happens. You know, if you can kind of figure out when kids go out for recess, I don't know, teachers will make you have to ask permission. Maybe you shouldn't do it at school. Maybe just go to a park or a place where there's children and just notice how the joy of giving that surprise to them lifts you up. So if you pick the bunny, your creativity is hiding behind your fear. You need to allow yourself to recognize it's time to give birth. It's time to set that fear aside. If you picked the daylight savings time clock, it's time for you to seek the light. You've been in the darkness too long, and maybe it's time to get some help. Like if you're feeling like, boy, you've been dark for a long time, you know, and you're not starting to feel yourself lift up with the additional sun that we're getting already, maybe you need to get some help now. And then finally, if you pick the ram, you are being called to be a leader in some form of your life. Ram is Aries. And Aries are just natural born leaders, and they get asked to lead all the time, whether they want to or not, right, Della?
Yes.
And the worst thing is, even if we're not asked to lead, often if no one else does, we can't stand it. It makes us so uncomfortable that we have to lead. That's why they'll say you're a control freak, but really it's just somebody's got to take control.
Somebody's got to do it.
Often it'll be an Aries that does it. So use your wisdom and your courage to step up if you're feeling that call. You got this. So don't blame the messenger.
All right. Yeah. Well, here we go. March healing space. It is said that the last 3 days of March have a reputation for being stormy, or, you know, like the saying, in like a lion, out like a lamb. Yeah, that's what Linda was talking about. Because, yes, beginning of March was just a few days ago, and I just can't remember how it came in. I just don't remember. Yeah. But we'll see how it ends. We'll try to remember that, to think about at the end of the month. Is this going out kind of stormy? Is it going out like a lion versus a lamb? We'll have to see. All right. International Women's Day is March 8th. Woohoo! The Spring Equinox is March 19th. The rabbit is the spirit animal for this month. The daffodil is the flower for this month, and daffodils represent forgiveness, honesty, true love. And if you look at a daffodil, it looks like a trumpet. And that is the signaling of spring's arrival, the promise of a bright future. So the full moon on the 25th is the worm moon. Holly is March 25th. The color for this month is green. The gemstone for this month is aquamarine. And the Celtic moon is the alder moon.
So this spirit animal, the rabbit, is very complicated. Normally when we think of the cute little bunny, we think about Easter, the Easter bunny. And the Easter bunny comes from a Saxon goddess whose name was Oistre. I never can say it right, so I encourage you to look it up. Apparently she found a wounded bird and she transformed it into a hare so it could survive the winter. That's where you get the combination of the rabbit and the egg. So this hare had all the qualities of the bird. She is the pagan fertility goddess of humans and crops, and the symbols to celebrate her are hares and eggs, representing fertility and new life. This is where Easter comes from. So you think about all that as the rabbit being this like great fertility, soft, sweet, lovely thing, but really the Native Americans believe that rabbit as a spirit animal represents fear. So rabbit people are so afraid of tragedy, illness, disaster, and being taken that they call those very fears to them to teach them lessons. So if you identify with a rabbit, think about that. Do you identify with that statement? The rabbit teaches us that what you resist will persist, and what you fear most is what you will become. They have a whole story in my animal medicine card book about the eye walker and the rabbit, and how the eye walker kept trying to reach out to the rabbit and help it, but the rabbit was so afraid of everything and so suspicious of everything that the eye walker finally just gave up. And, not good things happen to the rabbit. So think about that. What are you attracting to you? If you're so afraid of it, it is something you're actually calling to you. If you see a lot of rabbits this month, check your fears. The other thing, though, is that rabbits also represent luck. You think about a lucky rabbit's foot, which is not so lucky for the rabbit, but it was supposed to bring us luck to carry them. They're a symbol of abundance, prosperity, happiness, and affection. So isn't that complicated? It's so, the rabbit has so many different dimensions to it. I think it's a fascinating symbol for March. So did we start all over again, Della, when Heather reminded us? Oh,
Yes,
okay.
I started.
Okay, so this is where we're going to stop, you guys. And unfortunately, you're going to have to go watch the rest of the recording, because once Della started talking about this beautiful color green, Heather sent me a private message and said, were you going to record this? And the answer was, ah! So stop it here, and then you can pick it up on the next recording. And thank you for your patience and understanding, because we're goofy. So here we go. I'm gonna stop recording.